Alrighty. Hello, Leslie, and good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for asking. Leslie, I'm excited to speak to you today because you have an incredible resume. I have it pulled up here in front of me. But I would love for you to just kickstart our interview and tell me a little bit about your professional experience.
Okay, so I have been an executive assistant for about 5 years now, and I typically provide administrative support to the North America teams, the presidents, the C-level executives, and I will prepare high-level reports, memorandums. For example, in my previous role, I didn't have any government experience, but however, they did give me an opportunity to be the assistant to the city manager in the city of Tucker.
That's incredible. And that shows how you're able to really just receive information, retain it, and then kind of run with it, especially being in a new kind of industry nonetheless.
Right. Mhm.
That's amazing. You were there for about a year. And then tell me, because before that you were working as a office manager slash executive assistant at Lectra. Tell me a little bit about that.
So that company is a really great company. They what they do there is they do textile. They put in um, like leather and things like that for cars.
Oh,
Levi's was one of their clients. A bunch of other clients. What I did there was I started off as an executive assistant, and they promoted me to office manager. So I was providing a lot of administrative support as well as maintaining the facility of the office.
well, congrats on that promotion that you had there. Again, that shows your work ethic in a nutshell. And then I'm looking here at the Sonder Health Plans. You were there for about 3 years or so, office
Correct.
manager and a executive assistant. Tell me a little
Mhm.
bit about
So I tend to wear many hats as an executive assistant, and then I was a provider relation and office manager. That company was a health insurance company. It was a startup. It's no longer in existence, but by the time that I was there, I did help the company grow, and just I did wear a lot of hats in that company as well.
Yeah, yeah. And what I can see here, again, based off what you've mentioned in your resume, it seems like you've worn many hats or you got promoted. So
Right.
that really shows you as a whole.
Mhm.
Now you've been, in EA nonetheless, in kind of that particular role for some time now. What is it about being an EA that really draws you to that role?
I like to work alongside the C-level executives because they always need something done, and every day is different, and every day is very different, and it's never the same. It's never that really repetitive, and yeah, I like to help, and this is actually a really good role. That's why I've stayed as an executive assistant or office manager because I do like to help, and also do like to be behind the scenes as well.
Yeah, and that's incredible. Now, as far as preparing notes or taking, what is it minute notes?
Yes,
Taking minute notes,
minutes.
meeting minutes, right?
Yes, meeting
Yeah.
minutes.
Tell me about your experience with that part of being an EA.
That one I did a little bit more in debt over at the city of Clarkston,
Mhm.
especially because of the government funding. We would get a lot of our funding from the meeting minutes, so it was very important that I took very good notes in debt. So because a lot of our funding came directly from the meeting minutes.
Absolutely. That's correct there. And obviously with being an EA, there are many incoming requests that you may have. So how do you prioritize over the requests? And what I mean by that, it's going to be, requests coming from perhaps an other office member or coming directly from your executive. How do you
Mhm.
handle those requests?
So I actually, depending on the level of priority, I like to ask like, hey, when's the deadline? When is this due? And I'll write it down on a piece of paper or on my computer, whatever I have at the moment, and then I just prioritize by level of importance. If someone gives me, let's say that they need a finance report by today at 5, and then let's say another executive comes in and say, hey, order me some lunch and prepare the meetings or whatever for tomorrow. So obviously the 5 o'clock financial report is going to be more important. Then I'll stop whatever I'm doing, grab his lunch real quick, then do the finance report, and then go back to the other one for tomorrow. So that's
Absolutely.
just priority. I like to ask. I don't like to assume.
Yes, that's right. And that ties into my next question actually is what does typically for you, and again, it may
Mhm,
depend on the scenario or the executive, but
mhm.
what kind of cadence have you been able to have with your executives?
With all of them, it's always good to just either step into their office, or if they're not available in office, let's say that they're remote, a chat really quick, a phone call, a text message, just right away, like let them know what you have, like what your question is, because you don't want to wait till the last minute. So just communication is important. And then if they're not able to answer because they're in a meeting and something is due, just do your best judgment, because by then hopefully you know what your executive likes or what they don't like. So yeah, that's what I do. That's how I handle it.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that with me. As far as executives, we're supporting them. Were you supporting one executive, two executives at a time, three? Tell me about the support.
So at Lectra, the maximum executives that I've done there was four actually. And that one was the CEO, CFO, the president, and the last one I forgot. It's John, but he was a customer success manager.
Okay.
So yeah, that one was pretty much a handful, but also was the city of Tucker running the city with the city manager. That one was really interesting because the citizens, like civilians would come in, and I would be like the first point of contact. So I had a lot of questions there too. So
Yeah. So
mhm,
you worked in some pretty cool places. And with that, again, it shows me that you're able to adapt to different environments, different,
right.
executives, and then really tailor yourself to their needs.
Mhm,
Um, Now, looking at your previous roles and whatnot, I want to kind of move on to the topic on systems or systems that
mhm.
you've used. If you don't mind sharing some systems with me that you've used, you can even go up to, Google or Microsoft.
Okay, so I've used Microsoft, Google. I've also used Salesforce, Concur. What's the other one? Expedia to book their flights, and whatever systems they have, I learned them relatively quickly.
Yeah. And then
Mhm.
Excel as well.
Yes, Excel as well.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that with me. I want to go ahead and sorry, last question, but
Mhm.
how soon were you looking to start a new position?
Immediately.
Awesome. And then if my client wants to interview you, or do you have open availability?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Well, Leslie, I want to go ahead and just wrap up our interview and thank you for the time that you spent with me.
Mhm.
If you don't mind staying in the line with me really quickly, I want to chat with you.
Okay.
Thank you.